So again, welcome to Priscilla Batzell's backyard and Expressionist Art Studio Gallery. I have in front of you a 12 by 16 inch canvas. Hey, if you guys know me and you forget sometimes, can I have a thumbs up? And I'll tell you the rest of the stuff on my crib sheet later. Anyway, I've got crib notes and I'm going to use them at some point in time, but I've been observing Erin Hansen on my Instagram feed, and she's an amazing artist and prolific also. And she did a scape. She does a lot of scapes, landscapes, all kinds, just tremendously, so much more interesting than mine. But it doesn't matter because she inspired me. So I've got a couple of containers I'm going to put paint into, and one little scoop that I'm going to apply some of that paint to, and that shovel is going to be the other one right there. I'm going to take that little swipe card out of there. So I've put a line of horizon line across my canvas about 2/3, almost 3/4 of the way up. And below that I want to put fields at an angle, and above that I want to put mountains at an opposite angle, and above that's going to be the sky. So I'm just going to start with my sky, and I'm going to have to remember to shake up my paints, because my MO rate recently is if I don't shake them up, that means that they don't plug while I'm waiting to use them. There's going to be something in there. Please leave something in there. Alright, I'm adding that to that white pearl so it doesn't leave a stain on the canvas. I don't think it probably makes any difference. And the reason I'm doing a blue and purple sky is because somebody recently mentioned they hadn't seen me do much in the way of blue skies, so I thought I would do a blue sky. As you can tell, I don't think it matters much how you start this, but the thicker the layer you have, the more likely you are to be able to help it go over the edge. And I keep thinking that I should start by going up from my horizon line, which is basically, now that looks like clouds, that's pretty cool, which is basically just going to get covered up for the most part anyway. And if I go up, then I've got paint on my spatula, and I can use that to cover the top edge of my canvas and some of the side. I might have to go across one more time. But the more relaxed you are about how you swipe that into place with a spatula, which is, by the way, available on my Amazon link underneath the link tree, underneath Show More under the video, along with the Princeton Art Tool Catalyst spatulas and all kinds of other stuff. So I'm going to scrape that off and blow it into position. I might have a look at it really quickly, decide if I want to pull out that piece of schmutz I see in there that does not belong, and what else I might want to do. Because I might want to bring that horizon line from the sky right down a little closer. That is my Anita's white metallic, which I love to use sort of as water in watercolor. At this point I think I'm using that green chalk, but I was intending on letting that disappear. So it's a pink and blue sky and it's not all blue. Oh well. I'll deal with that later. Now on the bottom half of this canvas, my intention is to put down a layer of dark purple because I'd like it to show in the background, and I'm not sure how that's going to work yet. I'm going to get one of these containers out of here. There's my dark purple for when I get ready to do that. I'm going to use a little bit of this metallic base, and I'm going to spread my colors all over the place. And I'm going to have to cover this after because there's probably going to be more colors in here than I can use right now, but that doesn't matter because I know that sooner or later today I will find a use for them. I would like to have a somewhat copious amount, and I am trying to make them all different colors, and I think I'm going to have a little bit more of the couple other oranges and maybe some reds and a little bit of purple too. Oh, that's the color I was looking for right there. Lots of that. Sometimes I leave a color sit for a long time. These got shaken yesterday, fortunately, because I noticed I'm not really shaking them very well. This is some of my Deco-Art neon purple multi-surface acrylic. This is just my golden product, which is a quinacridone magenta. I like the little highlights from the bright yellow. I kind of want some more pink. It's not very light colored. I kind of wanted something. Oh, I have something. Wait, there it is. Let's shake this. I don't think I used this yesterday. Let's see if it's lighter. No, it's not lighter. Never mind. We'll just go back to the neon pink from Artist Loft. Okay, so now if I want to do this thing, I'm going to move that out of the way. And because it does not matter what this background does, other than cover, I'm going to leave the schmutz on my spatula. And when I get to the edge, I'm going to let the little bead of paint that's on it fall right over. I'm also going to scrape it down. I hope I'm going to stop rattling that canvas. I'm inclined to push it up. Maybe I'll just rotate my turntable out of convenience. So I can take that paint and move it right up here. As soon as I got a blade full, I can just put it right up the top. And continue on. I am going to wipe off my spatula along that edge and tap off the rest of it and hope that I can find a way that I'll have enough leftovers from my pan of colors so that I can go over my edge. So I'm just swiping back across, smoothing out my colors. Be nice if it would stay damp for me to put what I'm about to put in there. It doesn't want to be a heavy layer, because the heavier the layer it is, the more flow I'm going to get out of my paint. And if it flows too easily, it's going to flood the zone I want to work in. Now, I shouldn't worry too much about my sides and my edges, because I can really honestly, and almost always do, stick a finger in a hole where it shows canvas through. I think I'm going to try and scrape that off just because I hate wasting paint. And throw that in the bucket. Okay, so here goes nothing. This is supposed to be our flower garden, and I moved that little scoop to right here. Got it. That's not the scoop I want. That's for the mountains. All right, so what I want to do, what I'm going to actually do are probably two different things. I'm just going to fill in the stripes, thinking that the tipping will fill in for me. So I don't actually have to go all the way to the edge. I wonder if I gave myself enough paint. But I think if I spread it, if I'm lucky and this works, I should have waited on these. I could probably roll these around with a skewer into place. I am going to be scraping out my dish, and I was a little stingy with my paint. I could have added a little more. That's just an old iPod box. You can use any number of plastic refuse packaging. I kind of want to try for a minute to tip this, and that will require me to put an edge catcher, which I've put all away, of course. I got one. I'm going to just tip it right down and let it roll off a little bit. And then blow it across, or let it roll across. And I think I am going to do what I said I was going to do. I'm going to find a clean skewer to do it with, though. A nice big one. So I'm not going to worry too much about the top of these areas because I'm still planning on putting my mountainous background in. And this is just my dry run. This is a practice run before I do something larger or more elaborate. And I could probably do stuff like use a straw. I'm just picking up the edge of that. Pulling it sideways, pulling it down at the same time. Trying not to dig down to the canvas. Hoping that my Princeton Archel Catalyst spatulas... Oh, wow, that dried fast. Holy cow. Alright, well, I've got some paint here. And I intend on using it. So these are meant to be flower beds, if that wasn't obvious already. And they should be smaller at the back and larger at the front. Might want to stop and roll that skewer around. Somebody was asking me to just do skewer, the whole painting skewered, and I did a starburst recently. It was just skewers. So that's kind of cool. We might be running out of time. Yeah, I got 5 minutes left. That'll teach me. I'll make more paint next time. I'm going to touch up underneath the canvas as I see the paint is wet and push any big areas down. I don't want to stir it up too much because that purple will come through. I am going to do the best I can to make this move over. And I could probably put something along the edge, and it occurs to me I might like to do that. As in, that did not work. A lighter color would mean the sun was coming from that way. And that might fill in a little. And yes, there's my skewer. And I'm just going to touch that into place because that'll be enough to blend it, in theory. And it will spread the rest of that paint out so I can make it or fake it. And I've got love bug season, so there are bugs landing here. Just use that last one. So now I've got rows of flowers, supposedly, and it's time to go ahead and think about what comes next. I've also got paint in my shovel, which is pretty cool because that'll cover the places. Maybe I can save that somehow. Kind of need that for the bottom. That's perfect. Perfect timing. I really would like to put those mountains in. But I have to make a pan of colors, and I'm nervous that my paint will dry on my edge catcher before I get a chance to use it. Alright, so the bottom's pretty well covered. I'm not sure you can see that. And the edges are looking pretty good too. I'm going to take that edge catcher out of there for the moment. And I'm going to take a chance and try and hope that my paint stays wet and that I can use it. I'll tip that down. And I'm going to grab a little bit. I wish I had a much smaller container, honestly. Maybe I will try to use a much smaller container. So I'm going to use some dioxidine purple if it will come out, and it did just a moment ago. You know it did because I spread it on the bottom. And some minty green color shift, some 24 karat gold, some blue I don't know where it came from, some green metallic that's probably a craft paint, which I would love to have come out. And I just noticed I've got stuff in my sky, and I'm not sure where that came from. It must have been from the purple. And I'm not sure there's a thing I can do about that right now, and that is extremely unfortunate, other than the fact that I want to put some paint in there. and fix it right now. So we're going to have clouds. And streaks. Not the end of the world. Just got to fix it when you see it or it's going to be dry. Alright, I can live with that. I could fix that later with some color. I could fix that right now with some color. And I need to put some more color into my mountains. And hope that a little more purple will do it. Hope that I remember to go the correct direction. Okay, so I went that way, and I want to go this way, that way. Yeah, that made a lot of sense, right? Alright, I'm going to start over here. And I'm expecting to tip these down. I'm not sure I'm going to get away with it, but I'm going to give it a shot. I might tip them that way. My left, your right. We may actually get this accomplished. Not bad for a first try. Or we may not. I have 2 minutes left to tell you guys I do sell my artwork. I appreciate your thumbs up. Thank you so much for sharing my videos. I really appreciate that. I'm hoping that that will run. And I want my edge catcher back. Just because I can always scrape the paint off my edge catcher. And that's the effect I was looking for. And once it flows across, I might be able to get it to all flow down. And if I can't get it to flow down the way I want it to, I'm not afraid to stick my skewer in there and fulfill my desire. To have the horizon line be a little more even. It is what it is. It's a first try. I'm learning all the time. So there's our scape. And I'm going to torch. I'm glad I caught that thing in the sky. I'm not sure what that is, but it could just be a black butterfly in the flower field, right? I'm going to take my time and look for spots that might need some color that I've got hanging around that's still damp, and tell you guys that I love you. And I forgot to set my timer, so I'm going to say my email and all the other things you might need are right under the link tree, directly under the video. If you are interested in helping continue support the studio, and thank you to everyone who has, you might want to find the PayPal or Patreon icons on my channel header or on the link. Use them and be invited into the monthly drawing. And you can see the drawing prizes on the end screen video in the last 20 seconds of any video. And any colors I might happen to want to add here, I could. If I wanted to put a shadow anywhere, I could do that too. Right now even. So I want to thank you guys for being here, and check out Phoenix Rising Priscilla Batzell art. There are no commercials there. And I was attempting to have another channel, but I don't think it's going to pan out. So have fun while it lasts, because it's probably going to go away. I have no idea what's going to happen with that yet. Things do change. You never know. So Fine Art America, Pixels.com, and Facebook group Expressionist Art Studio, Totes, and more all share a Shop Now button that you can find over 1,400 items. You can find over 1,360 videos on my created playlists under all playlists. You can find Teespring clothing, which I just added some new stuff to. And it is got Oliver print leggings and Oliver print t-shirts. Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter links are on the link tree. Look under the video for my paint pouring recipe, and use my email if you're interested in a lesson in the future when lockdown is all over. I think it's about to be over, yay. And Amazon.